afternoon, Team FTU Hanoi. So on behalf of the judge, I'd like to have the first questions for your team. Your investment thesis is based on 3 points, in which is the first point was the robust market potential. You are having, in your slide, the CAGR of the industry is 6% and 12% for DX. However, if an investor is looking into Vietnam market, I don't think that they are looking at 12% growth. What are the growth that you are projecting for FPT? And the second question I am asking is like, in your valuation, in the sum of the parts, you are using probably the only peers is for software outsourcing, but FPT has other businesses that would have higher multiples and lower multiples for each divisions. So how did you derive with the SOCP? Why did you only choose software as the peers?
Okay, with regards to your question about the first question is why we comprise of this increase in revenue, right? So we comprise with why is CAGR 19% for the next 10 years because of 2 driving factors. First is the labor productivity, which is increased 7% CAGR in the next 10 years by increasing by moving up the value chain. And the second driver is to the increase in labor force of 10% CAGR, which boosted by the FPT in enrollments. Yes.
Like you mentioned about the growth, which is not, you think it is not robust, right? About like 12%. To answer the question, like it's not, it doesn't only rely on the growth of the market, but it also rely on the size of the market, you know. Like we mentioned about like the size of the software spending market is about like 600 times as much as FPT revenue, and it's really big for FPT to utilize the chance to have a growth rate higher than the growth rate of the market. That's for the first question.
In addition to our answer, the market is now very potential and prospective, with a growth of 6%, but from a base of 1,000 billion USD. And also, FPT is also making effort to capture the perspective of the market with its sustainable cost and also quality advantages, like we have mentioned, local prices yet global quality. And also to answer your second questions about choosing peers, we actually use some of the multiple valuations. So we actually choose peers from software, information systems sectors, telecommunications sector, FPT telecoms, and also education. I can show you the slide. Here. Here's for peer selection of software outsourcing, peers of telecommunications, and peers of retail brokerage.
Excuse me. So I just want to follow up on my question. Your revenue growth in that case for FPT would be 19% revenue growth for the whole company.
No, 19% for software.
For software. So what is the revenue and impact growth you are looking at for FPT?
As a whole, right?
Yes, as a whole in the next 3 years.
The total FPT growth in the next 10 years is about 30%.
About 13% as a whole corporations.
1-3?
Yes, 13%.
13%.
For revenue growth.
Yes.
And what about impact growth? The net profit growth.
The net profit growth is about approximately 11% in the next 10 years, 2019 to 2023.
So I have another question for you. So you say that net profit growth will be much higher than revenue growth, right?
Lower than revenue growth. It's only 11% in the next 10 years. So total revenue growth at 13%.
So what's the implication? Why the net profit growth is lower than the revenue growth? And another question is, how do you value the impact of global economy slowdown to FPT in the next 3 years?
The first one question is why the revenue growth higher growth than the net profits, because FPT is focusing on the software housing. We had the gross profits about 30%, but FPT had the other segment had the high profit margin like fixed line net service is about 45%, the education about 60%. But we see this segment has a limited growth. Then the growth, so the reason why the net income had a lower growth than the total profits is due to the slow in the gross profit margin. Yeah.
To answer your second question, as we have mentioned in the presentation, during crisis time, the revenue of top outsourcing providers and the IT spending in FPT 4 key markets, as you can see, didn't fall but even rise, because when the economy slowed down, companies tend to pursue outsourcing as a way to reduce costs. So we believe that the outsourcing market will not be affected by the current warning economy side.
So just a question about the outsourcing, that you were saying that one of the key advantage for FPT is the cheap labor. So as we are seeing that a lot of unicorn like Grab or GoViet, they would go into Vietnam and they see that this is the source for them to hire cheap IT engineers. So how can FPT keep and grow the numbers of their IT engineers to maintain the growth that you project, which is 10%, right?
Well, so the FPT growth rate of labor cost is currently the same as its rivals. So we believe that FPT can maintain a considerable salary gap. Moreover, the productivity is increasing with CAGR of nearly 10% in the last 4 years, which is much higher than its competitors. And with a strategy to move up the value chain, we believe that the productivity can maintain its momentum.
So in addition, like to answer your question, if like the competitors get into Vietnam and have the chance to build a business like FPT, right? We can say that they cannot, because like the key material factors to operating in the technology sector now is the track record, and like FPT has been building for like 20 years, and when they have the really good track record, they can like attract the customers. And you see, the customer really require really good track record, as they believe the supplier like FPT will give them the really high quality service, you know. And when have really high track record, they also can attract the IT employees, because when have high track record, the employee gets to the company and they will have the chance to work in the cutting edge projects, you know. So in conclusion, we will say that Rome was not built in one day, and they will not have the chance to build a business like FPT. We're sure. That's for the question.
Thank you for a great presentation. 40-something% growth in the share price. This means you are seeing something everyone else is not seeing. And we have professional investors in the market. Explain to me, other than price and great employee, what is it like?
Yeah, so what you're meaning is...
In simple English.
Yeah, why is investor right now undervalued FPTs, right? That's what you mean, right? So we believe that FPT is undervalued due to investor lack of sufficient information about two key factors. First is they don't understand that FPT is in a global market, which is very potential, like we mentioned. And FPTs also have sustainability in their competitive advantages, both in cost and in global quality. And secondly, most importantly, after the divestment, FPTs divest of retail tradings, they are now technology outsourcing companies. And that's what investors have realized and reflect on the shares. Nevertheless, after 2019, FPT is not just a outsourcing companies anymore. They are a digital transformer who are moving up the value chains.
Time's up. Thank you. Thanks. Time's up. Thank you for your presentation. Q&A session.